This is episode 150.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at with your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
Should really probably task you with getting a new intro done.
Yeah.
Get your name on there and Wade's out
Because Wade's out. Bye, Wade.
I don't know that he's
Ever coming back.
been in enough episodes since he moved to keep him on the intro.
No.
I don't really want to take him off, but it's like
Well, you can be there in
never
spirit.
here though.
Wade in spirit.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just make a bunch of like soundboard buttons for him and we can just make him talk.
Oh, there is one, isn't there?
Voyeurism.
There he is. Yeah.
Now you know.
That's Wade right there.
That's Wade.
Now, every episode we just have to give one of these
Voyeurism.
just so he can have his 2
Now
cents.
you know.
What'd you do this week, Bryce?
Wow. I made a bunch of videos.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're heavy on the video work this
heavy
week.
video working for Swinging with the Stars. Regina.
Right. Swinging with the Stars. So that's happening by the time this gets posted tomorrow. That's going to be 1 week away to Swinging with the Stars.
1 week away. And Shane's in the lead.
In the lead for donations. And I had a target in my head that I didn't want to tell anybody because I thought if it was really obnoxious and not possible, that'd be embarrassing to be like, I want to do this number. And then you don't even get close.
And?
Well, I told my wife a while back, I was like, I think it'd be wicked if I could raise $10,000. $10,000. And then when I talked to the organizers, they're like, yeah, most teams will probably raise like $2,000 to $3,000. I was like, oh, shoot. Okay.
Oh, shoot. Guess what?
So anyways, well on our way. And I'm, there's a whale donor in there somewhere that I'm trying to identify.
Yeah.
So that helped massively.
Moby
so
Dick.
whoever that was, I'm going to reach out to you and thank you when I find out who you are. So we'll,
If we find out
Thanks.
who you are.
yeah, anonymous donor.
Anonymous donor.
Enough of that action. What else you got for us today, Bryce?
That seems appropriate. Okay, today I just have a few brain teasers for you, Shane.
Good.
'Cause
My brain needs to be teased.
Okay, so do you want the written exam first or the oral?
Don't say it. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say it. Written, please.
You want written? Okay. I'm going to give you this piece of paper so everybody can at home.
You know this is a podcast, right? They
Yeah, I'm going to
can't see me writing.
I'm going to speak it so they can. So what I want you to do is write 100.
Just write
Just write the number 100.
100. Okay.
Okay.
This one is easy.
Under
Next.
that, write another 100.
Is this a riddle or a...
It's a riddle.
Oh!
And then a line underneath it. Okay. Now I need you to make 200 from that by only making one more line.
Pass.
Pass. Hard pass? Because you know it.
Only because I saw this stupid thing on TikTok, but I didn't watch to the end to see what the answer was.
You didn't watch
And
it
I
to
don't-
the end?
I don't feel like figuring it out with my own brain power. I told you my brain needed teased, not...
Yeah, well, it's a
Tested
teaser.
today.
Well, that's what you asked for.
I guess so. So I know it's going to be some goofy thing. Add one line and make that 200.
Make that 200.
200.
200.
200.
There is 200s there, but that's not 200.
200.
One line.
One line.
Can you
Straight line.
Can you do it?
It has to be a straight
It
line.
has to be a straight line. It has to make sense. Okay.
I don't give up. I
Okay.
don't know.
So you take your pen
Yeah.
and put one line right across the top of the one to make a T.
TOO 100.
200.
That's the worst.
Oh,
That's the worst.
what?
Okay, it's kind
I
of
thought
clever.
that was good.
Kind of clever. That's a cute little brain teaser.
It's a cute little one. And now I got a riddle for you then.
Oh, yes. Okay, here we go.
What can you keep but cannot share? And once you share it, you cannot keep it.
Secret.
Oh my God. You knew that one.
Yeah, I think it was really obvious before you even finished the question.
Okay.
Like the wording even is like, what do you keep?
Yeah, that's true.
secrets. That's
You
like the
keep
first thing I
secrets.
think when you say, what do you keep?
Okay.
I was already on board before you.
Fine. Why can't a man living in the USA be buried in Canada?
because he's living in the USA.
He's a living man.
He's living, period.
Well, you just destroyed. You got too smart. First, you were too dumb.
I find that I enjoy the oral much more than than the written test.
Oh, we don't have a rim shot
Now
anymore.
you know. All right, well, without further ado. Okay. Every once in a while, we think, hey, let's do a check-in on our mental health. Right to the point. You know,
Check.
I feel like Simcoe News no longer, or not Simcoe News. Simcoe Dex no longer even comes into these podcasts anymore, and he would be the one that would appreciate the most that we get to the point the fastest now.
Right?
Like we're
Yeah.
always like 5 minutes, we're on to the topic.
Now we're in.
He's the guy who complained the most about us wasting time at the start. Now he's not even here to enjoy it.
Well, it's because before we just made fun of him for 20 minutes.
Right.
He lived in Simcoe.
Yeah. So today we're gonna talk mental health again, and because I think we always need a little refresher, and not Debbie Downer mental health talk. We're just gonna talk about some tips on how to kind of keep your mental health in good standing.
Just the tips.
In good, just tips. So what we're gonna go through is an article that was actually posted by PSI Global Specialist Recruitment. Had an article with these things, and we just like, why reinvent the wheel? We're not
Right,
mental
yeah.
health experts. Let's take it from these guys who have already done the hard work.
Neither of us are doctors. Let's
Think
put
you
that
could?
disclaimer.
We already teased our brains enough. Oh, but you can be a doctor now, though, if you'd like.
How do you be a doctor if you like? I could just be one?
Facebook. Yeah.
I'm a doctor of Facebook?
Have you not been paying attention to the world right now?
No, that's
Everybody's
true.
a bloody doctor.
That's true.
Doctors, actual real doctors, have lost all credentials. Like
They
they don't
have.
even, like their efforts and their research and their education no longer means anything.
Right. If you put an MD behind your name, it doesn't mean
Doesn't matter.
anything.
It actually means you can't be believed
Yeah,
now
it does.
in 2021.
But a regular guy
It means you're up to something.
like us,
It means you work for the government.
as an MD?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You are a pawn in the government
pawn in the cog.
in the government conspiracy against the people.
Doctors are?
Yeah.
Real doctors?
Yeah, man. It's all over
I'm-
Facebook.
I'm
You've
losing
miss-
it.
you're
I'm
missing
missing it.
out.
I'm totally missing everything.
You are. So
Probably because my mental health sucks.
could be. Now, this time of year, I think it's good timing because we're heading into the winter season, the slow season. It's a tough time. We're also in the middle of, what are we at, the 17th wave of COVID now?
Right.
And that's been hard on people for the last couple of years as well.
Not
And
only
so-
seasonal depression, but
yeah.
the end for the 5th time of the pandemic.
Yeah. Are we going to get to Deck Expo in Dallas in November? I think that's looking sketchy.
I don't
hey?
know, man.
It's getting sketchy out there. Anyway, we're going to talk about 3 tips for kind of taking care of your mental health in the workplace,
Yep.
and 3 tips for taking care of it at home. So there's primarily 2 places one would spend their day. One's at work and one's at home.
Yeah.
So these are good tips for both of those scenarios. If you
They're
find,
great tips.
if you find yourself in either of these places,
Right, exactly.
your home or your work.
Do you work?
Yeah,
Do you live in a place?
I do.
Both of these sets of tips will work for
I
you. Then.
tend to go back and forth between them.
Do you?
Add 3 tips for your drive home.
For the drive, 3 tips for the in the car.
Okay, so let's go through these and chat about it a little bit. So,
Okay.
in the workplace, number 1, talk to a coworker.
What do you mean by that?
Come on, is this a brain? This is
Well,
not a brain teaser, Bryce?
No, it's not a. But it's like, is it just like
No, I think this is
general chatting?
I think this is finding somebody in, and for a lot of deck builders, it might only be 1 or 2 guys in the job, so maybe this is a little bit more difficult to do. But I think this is kind of like find that person that you can have open conversations with. Obviously, not everybody feels comfortable talking about mental health, and I think we should all work to change that. But it's the reality of the situation is that some relationships just don't invite that type of conversation in sometimes. But usually in a big enough group, you can find somebody who's going to open up to you that way. I know even like here, I have certain conversations with certain people that I feel more comfortable talking to than others. And so, and I also feel that there's some people in our organization that are more willing to open up to me than they would be to somebody else or whatever. Just for some reason we click in a way, right?
Yep.
And so I think it's important to find that person that you can talk to about it if something's bothering you. and without being ridiculed, because that's the tricky thing in construction, is that it does tend to be this like macho industry a lot of times, where it's like there's no place for that kind of talk, kind of
That's
thing.
right.
If you talk about your weakness and your mental health, you're a pussy. Like that kind of shitty attitude.
Push that shit down.
So you're gonna have to rise above that. Now, number 2 is gonna address that a little bit, but talking to a coworker, it helps just to get things off your chest sometimes.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Like have somebody to talk about.
That's what therapy's for.
Right. And that's something that some people find a hard hill to go up and come down on the other side, to continue the analogy, is like thinking that it's okay to go to therapy. Because again, there's this, I think it's going away over time right now. I think we're probably better at it than we used to be, but there's this stigma about going to therapy that it's because you're weak, or you can't control yourself, or you can't help yourself, and therefore you need somebody else to do it. Like you have to admit and be okay with the fact that you might need help that you can't provide yourself.
And I mean, I don't think like regular therapy is bad for people. Like, you want to better yourself, like you exercise to get stronger.
Nope, I don't.
No.
Oh wait, that's on the list. So yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
That's how you do it, though, right?
Yeah.
That's how you get to be a more physically active person. You would, put some effort and work and practice into it.
Yeah, your brain's a big muscle. You gotta.
Same goes with mental.
You gotta get stuff out. You gotta work it. I haven't been to a counselor or therapist in a while, but I have been before, and it's not intimidating. It just certainly doesn't need to be intimidating, and I always find that it's just like it just allows you to talk out loud and get some ideas off your chest. And most of the time, you're kind of solving your own problems and just speaking things through yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's not like they're there to fix you necessarily on purpose. They're not going to, it's not like, oh, you're broken and now I'm going to do these things to fix you. It's like It's just a chance to air your stuff and like think about it from a different perspective. I know even like talking to certain people, for example, like business coaches that we've been talking to a little bit lately, I find when they'll ask a question I'm explaining it, and I'll stop myself and be like, that's probably not how we should do it. Right. I'll say that. I'll be like, well, we do this and this and this. And then I stop and I'm like, knowing
that doesn't make any
now
sense.
That I've said it out loud to somebody who's trying to help and listen, I'm checking myself and be like, I'm saying this, but I know this is probably not right.
Right.
So just the presence of that person who's kind of like, is kind of analyzing what you're saying, allows you to think outside your own
brain, right?
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of see things from the outside yourself a little bit. So, okay, we got some questions popping up here, so let's get to those or some comments before we get too far down this. TC Deck says, you know what would be cool? A Zoom call with the other guys in the industry, maybe every couple weeks.
Oh, did we say we were going to do that?
I guess we're supposed to get the happy hour back going. And USMC says it's all about perspective.
I mean, the Zoom call thing is a good thing too, right? Like the idea that we can get a bunch of industry people together.
Yes.
And talk about things. That's very similar to talking to your coworker.
I guess I didn't look and read his comment as being a bit of a an omen to this point here, but I guess it probably was.
Yes.
Probably was saying
we'll take the benefit of the doubt.
And so good idea. We should get those going again. So anyway, talk to people, talk to a coworker. You spend, 8-10 hours a day with that person. You spend more time with your coworkers than you do with your family.
Yeah.
So it's important to have some sort of relationship that you feel comfortable sharing things with. It'd be good. Number 2 is addressing your company culture. So I think this is kind of more of a top-down move, but my point before where these industries or our industry is very male-dominated and very macho and has a stigma around it, be the person that changes that.
Right.
Don't just like fall into it and be like, oh, that's how it goes. So now I swear lots and treat other people like crap. Like,
right. Exactly.
There's nothing endearing about how this industry's been.
Right.
There's no need to continue it.
Yeah.
So create that culture where, your employees and your staff feel okay talking to, or your team, I should say, feels okay talking to you or to each other, and letting them know it's okay to have those conversations, to tell you when something is bothering them. Like, sometimes sometimes people miss work or call in sick and they make up excuses, and all that does is lead people to be like, they're just skipping work
They're
or
just
whatever.
skipping all the time,
But maybe
yeah.
there's something actually going on and they don't feel comfortable talking to you about it. And so it portrays itself as this like no reason for missing work kind of thing, but maybe there's something deeper happening. And if you had that culture where people knew it was okay to come to you and be like, listen, I need a mental health day. I'm in a dark place in my head right now.
Yep.
I just need to I need to get out. I just need to go take care of myself for a bit.
Yeah.
And that should be a good enough reason to take that day. But because of the stigma that's like mental health is not a real sickness, people are like, well, I need to tell them I'm physically sick, or else
Right.
it's not a good reason to miss
That's where
work.
you got to start, right? I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not feeling.
Yeah, I'm puking because my mind is running.
And nowadays you can't even really do that. If you're like, oh, I'm not feeling good, I'm like, if you're really sick, don't come in.
Yeah.
We don't want to risk anything.
Yeah. Number 3 under the workplace thing here was learn a new skill. And I liked reading that one. I had to think about it for a second and I was like, no, that's good because nothing gives you a bit of like a sense of like accomplishment and pride more than learning something new. And so maybe you're the guy that goes to work every day and does the same monotonous thing over and over and over again. And like, it's getting boring and it's not like, it's kind of adding to your, if you already kind of feel like you're in a stuck place mentally in your
Doing
life,
the same
whatever,
thing over and
showing
over
up
again.
and doing something over and over again that you're not enjoying is not helping.
Right.
And so maybe it's time to talk to the boss, whatever, and say like, look, I'm ready to tackle something new. I feel like it would be good for me to learn something new and to show myself that I'm valuable and just have some sort of accomplishment. So I don't want to be the guy that just stands at the saw and cuts blocking all day anymore. I'd like to go lay some decking or whatever it might be.
Yeah. And as a leader in your company, you should also be on the lookout for that too, right? Trying to consistently challenge your employees in new ways, move them around to make sure they're not doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And Quigley has a comment here, Quigley Dex on the Instagram here. What can one do when you know someone who is struggling, but you can't get them to talk? So this is where it's like, I'm not the expert in this by any means, but I think it comes back to this whole changing your company culture to make sure that the reason they don't want to talk isn't because they feel uncomfortable because of the environment they're currently in. Maybe they don't want to talk because maybe it's too personal for them and they don't want you knowing about it. Maybe like people might have a million different reasons why they might want to talk to you about something. You can't force them to talk to you.
Right.
But as long as you let them know that like, hey, I am here and I am willing to listen. So don't let that scare you off. Like we can have this conversation as good, like as people that care about each other. And if they still choose to be like, you're not the person I want to talk to about this, then fine. I think you have to respect that in a way too, but you just need to make sure that you let them know that you're okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm ready to listen.
Yeah. And it's not your fault that if you can't get through to them, don't take it personally.
And if you're the boss, there's certainly things that you can suggest. If they don't want to talk to you about it, you can like, there's nothing saying you can't say, hey, do you need some time off with your family? Do you need to go, like, do you need to talk to somebody? Maybe you're in a company that has the resources to be able to offer some sort of benefits that'll cover counseling, and you could offer that. I'm not going to say every company has that ability or capacity to do that, but if it is, you could offer that. Be like, listen, man, I know you're struggling. I can see it. If I'm here to talk if you want, but if that's something you want to do here at work, I certainly respect your time. Take some time. If you'd like to go see somebody that can kind of help you through it, let me know.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get that cost covered or something like
Right. Or at least the time. It's like,
Yeah.
no one's going to be like, hey, no, you can't do that during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is some people might.
That's right.
Right?
I
With
guess
the-
so. Yeah.
With that industry, it might be like, leave your shit at home and get here and bang in these joist hangers. Like, I don't give a shit about your problems.
Right.
So make sure that's not the influence you're putting out there, or like the vibe you're giving off.
Right.
Make sure you're approachable. Make sure that you just create that company culture that tells people or shows people that it's okay.
And communicate it.
Talk. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's this is not something that you sit down at a meeting one day and be like, okay, from now on,
Good company culture.
we're good to talk to each other. Like, this is something that needs to be worked on every day. You need to develop that relationship.
That trust.
Yeah. And so, maybe taking somebody aside and having a chat about something that's not work related and maybe you need to open up first. Maybe you need to tell them a bit about your life and your struggles and whatever. And that would kind of be an invitation for somebody to kind of open themselves up a little bit.
Right.
So they're not feeling as vulnerable.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's that. Now, the other half of your day is spent at home, depending on who you are.
Yes. Theoretically.
And so there's some things you can do to take care of your personal self that will hopefully help with your mental health as well, with easing the struggles. Number one on this list is stay fit. You mentioned it. Can you define what that means?
I don't know myself. I don't know, just get a bit of exercise is what they say. Even just getting a bit of exercise every day is a huge stress reliever.
It absolutely is. I hate that I don't do this consistently.
Right.
I hate that I'm not the person who naturally wants to do this all the time. And maybe nobody starts out being naturally into it. You actually hear that a lot. People are like, I was never the type of person to sit there and go to the gym all the time or work out all the time or do whatever, but they get into that routine and it becomes who they are. They find that they do enjoy it. So, but I know that when I get into my spurts of doing it, it absolutely helps with this stuff.
Oh yeah.
100%. If I get down and like, whether it's lifting weights, I got on a yoga kick for a while. I was doing yoga for about a month every night. And some mornings I would sit down and I would intentionally do it. It'd be like, I'm not going to bed without doing my yoga. And I would sit down and do it. And it's just like, it was so relaxing and just a time for me to like, even though I am commonly, I'm not the type of person that likes to sit and be still and do anything. Usually my mind will race if I do that.
Right.
Like, and that's why I don't go to bed until I'm exhausted because I'll just think too much.
Yeah.
So usually my brain won't turn off. I found that when I was doing the yoga, it kind of just did.
It just turned off.
Like I would listen to the instructional video that I was watching, but she's not saying much.
Right.
But it was just like
downward dog.
For some reason, was really focused on that, which is really nothing.
Yeah.
In a way, like my brain wasn't spinning. It was just a chance to just like turn everything off for a little bit, relax your body, relax your mind. And at the end of it, take 20 minutes, whatever, 30 minutes. At the end of it, just laying there, just being like, I feel like so just calm and relaxed.
You really sounded calm there.
Calm. I feel wonderful.
That's right.
But even just that, like, and that's not a hard physical activity. It was like,
not at
there
all.
was many days I didn't break a sweat at all. Like yoga can be challenging, but there's certainly like beginner stuff or more mild things you can do. That's not about working up a big sweat and making you feel like you just had a big workout. It's just being in tune with yourself and your body and chilling out.
Chilling out. I agree. I think exercise like walking or meditating, even. I know meditating's not really exercise, but I think it does help.
Yes. I'm trying to go back here because we do have quite a few comments coming in here now as
Holy
well.
smokes.
What happened here? How long have we been gone?
I don't know. We zoned out there talking about fitness.
USMC replied to Quigley Dex about the what if somebody's struggling and you like how do you get them to open up to you? We kind of talked about this. He says sometimes you have to open up to them first and maybe share some past experiences where you struggled.
Be vulnerable.
I think that is really key. If you can kind of be the first to kind of open up, and it just like that's kind of like acting instead of just words. Kind of like actions are louder than words.
Actions
that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You tell somebody like, you can talk to me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's still not knocking any walls down. Mm-hmm. But if you come up to somebody and be like, hey man, I noticed you've been struggling with this. And I went through a period in my life that was really, you be vulnerable first and it'll help people to open up to you.
Right. Yeah. You show them that you trust them first.
Yeah.
And that they're willing to extend that trust back to you.
Right. Haney is agreeing with this as well. Quigley, talk to them about your vulnerabilities or weaknesses first. Establish that it's okay to admit vulnerabilities and be open. Yeah, I really like where this is going. Everybody's kind of hitting the same.
Why did we?
I think that's the answer. Why are we on this podcast?
Have all the answers,
right? Haney Construction, wrapping up an hour early without warning and having a beer with the crew has been huge for us. Mm-hmm. Not every day.
Oh,
he specifies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to
create a bunch of alcoholics,
right? But for real, you don't want to create a routine around alcohol,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. To give people a day off and it's like an unexpected like, oh yeah, sweet, like like that. It's appreciation shown in a different way, and like,
isn't that one of the things that Jocko Willink talked about in Extreme Leadership or Ownership?
Smashing beers daily?
No, they would, but before like a big mission, the commander would come out and they would, now this is irresponsible, but they would get everybody like rip roaring drunk.
Okay.
Because they found that it increased camaraderie because these guys would just like let their entire guard down, and any problems that they would have, they would just hash out.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
You become
Yeah.
a little more trusting when you drink a little. Not
Yeah,
that
you open up.
alcohol's a
Yep.
wonder drug, but
No, but it certainly does remove inhibition a little bit, right? I'm watching, I think I've told you a little bit about this. I'm watching this documentary series on Amazon Prime called All or Nothing.
right.
And I'm loving it. It basically follows, I thought it was just NFL for a while, but it looks like they have some, like the Toronto Maple Leafs or something too, but they basically follow one pro team around for a season, full season, and kind of show the inner workings, the behind the scenes stuff with the coaches, with the, the administration staff, the players and everything. You learn the story of that season, and it's really cool. But the one I'm watching right now is the Dallas Cowboys, and they show, I think it's a special teams meeting, the coach at the end of every meeting, I can't remember what line he uses, but he gets everybody to stand up and shake hands, look the guy in next to you in the eyes, and like have that moment of like blowing out a little bit,
Right.
and really kind of building trust and like open yourself. Because a lot of these guys are sitting and you watch these shows sometimes, and it's like a lot of these dudes are athletes, man. They're not scholars.
Right.
I'm not saying they're stupid. I mean, they're built to perform athletically at a high level.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't enjoy the book side of the game, sitting in a room, being
right.
lectured
And, like,
to and watching
learning
whatever. And they look like they would rather be nowhere else.
They would
or
just rather
anywhere
be
else
on the field.
than sitting there, right? And they're just like, but as soon as that moment comes up, these guys are like, all right, stand up, gentlemen, look the guys in the eyes and shake their hands. Everybody just gets a huge smile on their face, and they just start, and all of a sudden the room is alive.
Yeah.
And that's how his way of kind of like helping to build and foster this like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Like a team.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, I
like
mean-
you start caring about the person beside you.
Right. And I mean, that's what this
Camaraderie.
is.
Maybe that's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Like I think of Phil Jackson, right?
Yeah. Who's he?
Arguably the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
One of,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And he was known for doing kind of very strange team building exercises, right? Like get everybody. I'm pretty sure at the end of one of the Bulls seasons, they went to center court and burned a bunch of stuff in like a ceremony.
Yeah, he was very much into what? It was like
It was indigenous religion.
Yes.
Or,
very into that, and like lived it in his life and shared it with his players, and yeah. So yeah, I don't know where were we going with that?
I don't know. We were
Finding
talking
something
about
to do with
comedy
your team or
culture.
whatever. Yeah. USMC says exercise releases endorphins, and endorphins make you happy.
True. That's fact.
Deck Builder Marketers says, I'm so much more on top of things when I get my heart rate up in the morning. And yes, I always say yoga and water are the key.
Yoga and water.
I think that's I really think yoga, and again, this is something to macho dudes, maybe the idea of doing yoga doesn't seem very macho to you. That's not the point. It's not supposed to be a macho thing. But if you're the type of guy who's just like, I don't go to the gym and I don't want to exert myself. And to be fair, for a lot of these guys and gals, the job they're doing is very physically labor intensive. Like they might not have the need to go burn off 500 calories and to get that kind of workout because they're gassed at the end of the day because they probably burnt off 1,000 calories working.
Right.
So maybe yoga is the nice way to kind of like to take care of your body and your mind a little bit without going and being overly exertive again. At the end of the day, it can help just kind of chill and relax and get you ready for bed anyway. So
Yeah, for sure.
let's see if we got any more comments here before we go to the next point. I think there probably is a few. Ken loves it when Shane is calm.
Calm Shane.
I also prefer to be calm. Haney Construction, yoga is just hard enough and just tricky enough to demand your mental focus, which becomes meditative. Same thing with stretching. Both are tremendous for your body and mind. I got to move this book because it's white in front. In the letters,
You're
and I
really
keep,
making it hard to read.
Can't see it. Also because my eyes are 40 years old. USMC says the best counselors and therapists are the ones who have struggled themselves. People relate to others who have been through it before. Yes. Western Lumber, 1953. It isn't just for staff. As an owner, I've decided that being here before the employees is great, but now I leave before the store closes. We need our own time too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so we caught up in the comments. So there it is. Stay fit, or just do something. We've talked about this in a different podcast we do, which we got to get back on, by the way.
Yep.
Float sessions.
Oh yeah. I think we need to do that as like a thing this year.
Like a team thing?
We should do like a team float or something.
Everybody in the same pod?
That would be weird.
Stack them up. We're about to bond.
That's right. That's right. Bonded silence. I've never floated to this day.
I need to get back into it. I've done it once. I did not. I shouldn't say I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it in certain ways, and in other ways it drove me crazy. But I believe that it would be beneficial and enjoyable if I went again, like more times. I think
right.
They tell you straight up front, they're like, this first time can be hard for a lot of people.
It's a lot of mental stress.
Yeah. If you're the type of person who can't turn things off and just like remove all distraction and turn your brain off, then this is going to be a little bit weird for you.
A little tricky.
It was a little bit weird for me.
A little tricky.
But so you don't want to do yoga, you don't want to meditate, whatever. Well, go try a float session. These things are like, a lot of people swear by it as far as like kind of recalibrating your mind.
Yep.
And your body. Some people say they go for an hour float and it's like the equivalent of like a 12-hour sleep. Like they come out just feeling so energized and refreshed.
And some people say they see shit.
There's a lot of stories of like hallucinogenic stuff that happens in this thing. So if you haven't heard of these float sessions, it's basically a sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah, they put you in a coffin filled with water.
Essentially, it's a pod, like it's a tomb.
It's a tomb.
It's a pod that closes completely. It's got like extremely high salt content, Epsom salts, whatever it is in the water. The water is only like 4 inches deep. It's not deep.
Oh, okay.
But it's got so much salt in it that you float.
So you don't is it weird? Like when you get in, do you touch the bottom?
Oh yeah.
And then you sit there and you're like, whoa.
But as when you spread your mass out, like I think if you were sitting up, you'd also sit on the floor of the thing.
Oh, okay.
But when you lay down, like then you start to float. So the water's not that deep. You're not in any risk of drowning or floating to the bottom or whatever. But you just float there, and so it gives you this sense of like it removes your physical sensation because you're not touching anything. Your body's just kind of suspended in midair. The water temperature is perfectly 38 degrees.
Oh, so it's your body temperature.
It's exactly your body temperature. So you don't feel cold or warmth around you.
That's weird.
You just feel nothing. It's pitch black, so you see nothing. And it's like sound didn't. So you hear nothing. What am I forgetting? Scent. Unless you fart, you don't smell anything either.
Do you wear clothes in there?
I think it's optional.
Oh, it's clothing optional.
I think they kind of say don't because the clothing can be a distraction.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you were wearing like loose shorts and they like swayed and touched you, whatever, it would kind of break the. I honestly don't remember if I did or not. I don't think I did. I think I went in there like with something to show.
Nude.
When I went, I believe. So really cool experience. I'm going to do it again. Like I said, I'm the kind of guy that can't turn his brain off. So I was in there just thinking about all the work I had to do.
Right.
And I think I was booked for like a 90-minute or 75-minute. And I made it to just about an hour. I was like, I can't. I got to get out of here now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do this any longer. I didn't even know how long I had been in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You come
I think
out
it's
and you're
timed.
like,
I think at some point it like turns off or opens up or something. I don't remember. But anyways, that's for somebody who doesn't want to get in and do something physical, but really needs that time to like chill out, and maybe that could be super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I mean, like what you just said about the float thing, like meditation is very, very hard in the beginning because you have to physically turn your brain off.
Yes.
Right. Like to be able to like straight up meditate for half an hour.
Yeah.
Uninterrupted right off the bat is really hard.
Yeah. Carly, one of our team members up in Saskatoon, says floating is okay. He's obviously done it. Or Wade's relaxation technique.
What's that?
Shoot stuff.
Oh, he shoots stuff.
Wade goes hunting. But honestly, that probably is in a way his thing, right? He goes by himself a lot of times. It's probably a bit zen for him too, to just go out in the woods and be by yourself.
I love hiking.
He posted a picture the other day from his kid. So his parents have a cabin. I don't know exactly where it is, and nor does it matter.
You're going to dox him live on air?
Yeah. But he posted a picture and he was just like, in the cabin, his dog is curled up on the bed, the fireplace is going, and it's just like this rustic cabin they built out in the middle of the woods. Like you got a quad in. And I was like, I sent him a message. I was like, that looks comfy as hell.
Right. Exactly.
I want to be there right now.
Yeah.
I just want to be out in the middle of nowhere with nobody bugging me and like the fire going and my dog sitting there and
right.
look pretty zen to me. What else we got here? Is there anything in there that says people who cuss and swear are happier, says Quigley Dex? I've heard that. It's not in this specific article. I've seen a lot of this, and I don't know what the purpose of them, it's shock value, whatever, but I've heard or read articles that say like people who swear are happier people.
Right.
I don't know if that's like why. Like obviously not just saying the words does anything, but it's like maybe because they're more willing to express themselves and that's their way of letting aggression or frustration out.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, maybe.
If you need a reason, have at her.
I take a pretty neutral stance on swearing, so
Yeah.
like they're like meaningless words, so you put whatever meaning on them that you want.
That's right. Yeah.
So
USMC says being out in nature is amazing. Hunting, fishing, whatever. Number 2 of the home things you can do to take care of yourself is a good night's sleep. This is really key as well.
Yeah.
And this is something I tried to ignore and not listen to.
You're really
most
good at
of my
this,
life.
aren't you?
Most of my life, I was like, doesn't matter. I can operate on nothing. But boy, oh boy, as I get older, me operating on decent sleep is a much more pleasant experience than me operating in next to no sleep.
Right, exactly. For your mental health, it's worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. This year was tough. I had some times this year where I did not feel like myself. Mentally was not liking coming here, which was different for me. I was struggling mentally. I talked to my wife about it a few times, and like I straight up told her, I was like, I feel a bit depressed right now, and I don't know why, and I don't know how to snap out of it, but I'm aware of it.
Right.
And so I'm telling you that my mood is because I'm not feeling
there.
good up there right now.
Yeah.
And so, I think like I'm happy that I'm able to be self-aware of that, and I'm also aware that it passes. And so even when I'm there and I don't know how to get out of it right now, I'm like, it's okay. One more day, get a good sleep. At some point, you're going to wake up and be like, it's all good again.
Right. Feeling better.
Eventually that happens.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's important too, to understand that no matter where you're at, it will get better. It may take a little bit of time, but like do some of these things and gradually you'll kind of get back to your healthy mental self.
Have you ever heard of the idea of fear setting?
Fear setting?
Yeah. So instead of like goal setting, you talk about your fears more often, right?
Okay.
Because those are the things that hold you back. But in this case too, like if you're scared of getting depressed, what's worse than that?
I see.
Right?
Kind of tricking yourself into thinking like even though like you think things are bad, they could be worse kind of thing.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
And there are some guys who take it to the extreme where they'll like only live on Ichiban noodles for 6 months or a month.
So they really appreciate that steak when they get it back.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Because they realize that
or because it's delicious.
If that's the worst it can get, you can survive it, I guess is the other thing.
Right.
Like if you have to sleep on your floor in your office for the next 6 months, you would make it through is the idea.
I've recently too, and I feel like I've always kind of been like this to a certain extent. No, that's not true. Not always. When I was younger, I was absolutely not this, but I used to be very like, when I was younger, like teenager years or even in my 20s was very, I didn't like to put myself in uncomfortable situations and it didn't matter like that. I knew that it would probably be a lot of fun or it would like, I would enjoy it once I did it kind of thing. It was just like, nope, I'm self-conscious about that. And I don't want to do it.
Right.
And I feel like as I've grown up, I've become more accustomed to like putting that aside and being like, no, like do it.
Force yourself to do it.
This whole dancing thing is a perfect example of that because when I got asked, it was like immediately was like I hadn't even said yes yet. And I was like, oh shit. Like it was like, holy smokes. But I just decided like, I don't know why, but I think maybe kind of coming out of that little depressive state back in spring, I was like, I just need to say yes to things that are going to be fun or exhilarating. Like don't say no to things just because you're kind of uncomfortable with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing I did where I said yes. And like, here I am now and it's a week away and I'm scared shitless. No, but I'm also looking very much forward to it. And had I said no, because I thought, I was nervous or felt uncomfortable about it, I would have regretted it.
Oh yeah.
100% I would have regretted it. And I knew that in the back of my head. That's why I just said yes. And I was like, I'll deal with the emotions of it later, but yes, I'll do it. Same with hockey this year. Our team that I've played with for the last few years. So first of all, I started playing hockey again after 22 years of not. That was an uncomfortable thing.
That
to be
was a
like, oh, yeah, I'm
hurdle,
going to do
right?
that again. It's
Yeah.
like, haven't played since I was 13. Now I'm 36 and I'm just going to start playing hockey again, go buy new equipment and go put myself out there.
Rudy.
One of the best things. Yeah. But honestly, one of the best things I did. I love it
Yeah.
now, right? Like it's something I really, really enjoy
Yeah.
doing. I look forward to it all the time. And so that certainly is mentally beneficial for me to be able to go out and do those things and enjoy myself and stay active and whatever else. And so, and then I was faced with another decision because I hurt my knee in hockey a while back and couldn't play anymore. Then COVID canceled the rest of that season. And then our team didn't make it back out of COVID. Not enough guys were going to play anymore.
Oh.
We're all around 40. Some guys are like, that's it for me. Like, this is
Yeah.
mine. This is my retirement party now. And so the team wasn't happening anymore. And the only reason I started playing hockey again is because I knew some guys on the team that were like, come on out, like whatever. So I felt comfortable or more comfortable. And then I had another team ask me to come play with them or a guy. And I was like, my initial thing was like, well, no, I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to be the guy. I'm
No
not,
thanks.
I'm not a good hockey player. I haven't played in a year and a half now again. I don't that's a new team. I don't know anybody on the team. I don't want to show up there and be the only guy that doesn't
know how
know
to tie his
anybody.
skates.
Yeah. I still have to get my dad to come in and tie my skates. Doesn't know anybody. So I was like uncomfortable about it and like was leaning towards saying no. And then eventually I was like, no, yes, because if I don't do this right now,
Yeah.
then I'm done playing hockey forever. Because I'm not gonna run into another team that I feel as comfortable with as I did with my old team.
Yep.
So I would just be retiring.
Yep.
But I really enjoy it, so I should do this. So I said yes, and then I reached out to one guy from another team and brought him along with me, so at least I had a familiar face. And first game was last night. I did not play. I said I would not play, but I did go out and skate and warm ups, and then I watched.
Oh, nice.
And I hung out with the team and met the guys and stuff, and I'm like, came out of there being like, this is great.
This is good.
These
right?
seem like a great bunch of dudes. Like, I already kind of feel like part of the team. Like, if I would have said no to that just because I felt nervous about it,
Right. Yeah. Oh, exactly.
like that would have been shitty.
Right. Yeah. I used to play Ultimate Frisbee a lot.
Yep.
And one of the things in Regina that they do in the fall league is teamless.
Why is this? You see how much it's shaking? They're complaining that the camera's shaking.
Sorry, guys. It's an earthquake.
So sorry, Ultimate Frisbee.
So in the Regina League, the fall league is a complete. There's no teams at the beginning of the fall, and they put everybody's name into a hat, and you're forced to play with other people.
Interesting.
And then so when the spring and summer leagues come around, you get to be introduced to other teams, and if your team disbands, you can easily get on another team like you, right? Because
That's
you're
cool.
forced to play with a bunch of other people.
Yep, that's neat. So I used to run a touch football league for a while that I started.
Jeez.
This is
You'll start a touch football league, but you won't go play on a random hockey team?
right. And so, but here's the thing. Now this is going to explain some things. The reason I started the touch football league is because I didn't know anybody and I didn't feel comfortable going and signing up into an existing league, not knowing anybody. That's the extent of what I used to be like. It was like, I want to play touch football. I don't know anybody, and I'm probably not as good as all those guys that are playing touch football in the Regina
Right.
Touch Football League.
Yeah.
I'll start my own league. And then that way I'm the guy. Like, it literally happened that way. And so I started this league, ended up being, I had 130 some people, whatever, 8 teams. But the way we did it was kind of almost like fantasy draft at the same time, in that you signed up, but you didn't sign up as a team. You signed up as a player. And then we had team captains that would each have a team. We would have like almost like a draft day.
Schoolyard pick.
Not even almost like a draft day. We would go out and everybody would kind of like scrimmage and practice, and the captains or coaches would get a chance to like evaluate
Holy
guys.
smokes.
And that night we would then go to the upstairs Boston Pizza, book the upstairs, and we would have a draft. We'd actually go around the table and everybody would draft their team out of the players that were involved. Like, it was super
my
cool and fun
God.
concept. But the cool thing about it though is that you ended up with a bunch of people you didn't necessarily know. You got to play with new people, meet new people, and like form a team. And you didn't just show up and be like, I want to play with my 7 best friends, and then
And then
have some people feeling left out or something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so it was a neat way to go about it. That's for sure. What else do we got here? Holy smokes. Haney Construction, the weekly check-in of this podcast, especially with all of those on the live stream, has become a relaxing part of my week. Thank you, Tuds, for arranging this hang.
What up?
I haven't really thought about that before. We did the happy hour thing as kind of a hangout, right?
Yeah.
Get guys kind of like having a beer once or every other week and hanging out and talking shop. I never really thought about this being a bit of a that for people too, a hangout or like a chance to relax or kind of take your mind off work for a minute.
Maybe we should move this to Zoom.
Maybe.
And then at the end, we can kind of interact more.
Sure. Maybe something's happening right now.
Look at that.
Jeez.
Star was born.
Westrom agrees. And yeah, I guess he shows up pretty religiously as well. So a good night's sleep, very important. Don't neglect your sleep. It does wear you down.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Probably like more so than the staying fit. If you don't want to work out, fine, but at least get a good sleep.
Yeah, get a good sleep.
Mentally, it's pretty important. Number 3 is stay connected to your social relationships. This one's really important too, and really topical right now because COVID has made this difficult over the last 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
It's been hard to hang out with friends and maintain your social relationships. And I don't know, like some people may have lost theirs or their relationships have been weakened because you don't see that person much anymore or whatever. And so we talked about how important it is to talk to other people. It's like you maybe can still phone them on the phone, but like not having those face-to-face conversations, like
It's weird, man. Yeah.
it's different. I even said last night, we were sitting in the dressing room afterwards having beers and I was like, I missed this
Right. Yep.
part of hockey too.
Yep.
Like, I don't even know these guys, but I'm having a blast in here with a bunch of dudes with 10 guys I just met.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any of their names because I'm awful with that. But it's like nice to be out and be socializing again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So-
for sure. I mean, one of the...
Matters.
When the restrictions like first lifted, I know one of my favorite things was to go into Chapters, go get a Starbucks coffee and walk into Chapters
Yep.
and just having people there.
Yeah. Yeah. The simple things in
Just
life.
having
eh?
people there.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk to half of you, any of you, half
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah. And actually, if you try to talk to me, I'm going to be like, get away from
Right.
me.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just nice to be out with people again.
Stay connected to people.
So
And it's tough.
it is very tough right now. And it's like, it's very uncertain too, because things are changing every day with restrictions and whatever else, what you're allowed to do. But, I'm sure that FaceTime and video chats and all those things have become like, they were already ridiculously popular before this all happened, but now they've probably almost become a lot of people's primary source of face-to-face contact.
I hate when people
Which is
FaceTime
like-
me.
Yeah. Probably not good, but
Don't
it's like,
phone me. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah. Western says the industry golf tournament last week was fantastic and really needed. Agreed. Yeah, we had a golf tournament out at Kenosee Lake. I don't know how many people would have been there. Probably 8 times. Yeah, it was probably 130, 140 people. Yeah, it was nice to get back out and do something social and like talk shop or not talk shop, like whatever you want. Just like get with people that you have something in common with and
Yeah.
enjoy a nice sunny day of golfing and relaxing and.
I think that's what Deck
Getting away from
Expo
it
is
all.
going to be great for. If we
100%.
get down
I'm
there.
hoping it happens for sure. I'm sure it's going to happen. It's whether we can get to it or not. But that's what Deck Expo always is for me. And for a lot of guys, it's not necessarily to get down there and see the booths and see the new products and whatever else. It's more the get down there and like have a wind up party.
Right.
With
Yep.
right? It
Yeah.
happens at the end of the season. So you get down there and you just kind of get to cut loose a little bit. You like whether you've met these people or not before, they're all living your life somewhere else. They're all deck builders or dealers or whatever it is. Like you've got tons in common, even if you've never met them before.
Right.
So it's there's no ice to even break. You can walk in and be like, hey, what do you do?
Right.
What do you build this tracks. Like it's just like this
Super easy.
natural to go to get into a conversation with people down there. So, and like we year after year, this is the only place you actually meet half these people. A lot of these people that are on Instagram that you follow or listen to the podcast or whatever. This is your one face-to-face is at these events where it's like, but you consider these people friends. It's like, you know them really well.
Right. But you only see them once
You
a
only
year.
see them once a year.
Yeah.
So it's, I hope it happens because missing it last year was no fun for anybody. And I think everybody's looking forward to getting back and doing it. So hopefully
God, it's only been
the fates will allow.
It's only been 1 year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, yeah.
That's crazy to
Basically,
me, though.
1 year's
It's
worth
like-
of events. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. That's it.
stay
Bryce.
connected.
Stay
Social
connected to your
relationships.
social relationships. Because I used to, before COVID too, we used to do our like, whatever you want to call it, our little club where we go, like entrepreneurial
Yep.
club of getting together with people. Like that was awesome. I always really look forward to that. And that kind of got squashed. And like, even, some of my buddies, I go out every couple weeks and just go for a beer and shoot the shit and chat. And it's like, you lose that too. And it's,
Just losing everything.
you don't get to have those same conversations with your wife or your kids potentially, right? Like you're just going to talk about some things and enjoy some aspects of those friend relationships, they're not possible with your wife or your kids or whoever you are seeing all the time right now. It's just like everybody needs to get out and not
Right. Exactly.
enjoy their other personalities.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So stay mentally healthy.
Right. Check number 1. So 3 tips at the workplace, at home. Hoping everybody out there is heading into this off season with high spirits.
Yeah.
It's been a busy season for most, so hopefully there's not as much financial stress on a lot of these guys.
Right. And not
gals.
uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly. And Christmas is coming up, so there'll be a chance for some family. Halloween's coming up. So
Yeah.
enjoy it. Take a break from work once in a while. Take care of your mental health. Check out your family. Say hello again.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Until next week, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful week. Please, if you have a chance to donate, vote SWTS.com. Shane and Nikki, I appreciate it very much.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships, or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.